Derek Moreland, and I'd like to invite you to join me on the Parker Daniels YouTube show where we will be discussing relationship from a blindness perspective. Tune in.
Good evening. Welcome to the Parker Daniels Show. My name is Anthony Parker, and I have some exciting situations going. This is something different I'm going to try. Today's topic is we're going to be focusing on dating. Before I move forward, I want to say what's up to my co-host, Kim Daniels. As I mentioned, we're going to talk about dating visually impaired people or individuals who have some type of impairment. Now, we have two guests today on the line. One from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who's a female, and we have a gentleman from Florida. I forgot what part of Florida, but he's going to let us know. And today they're going to give their perspective on dating individuals who are impaired, what will be their preferences and what have you. So, I know I'm long-winded. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump into the topic. But before I do that, I want to let everybody know that I appreciate you all subscribing. Continue to do that. Share, comment, and just tell a friend. Hit the notification bell and all that so you can get updates. So let me stop the music and bring in my very special guest. I'm going to allow y'all to introduce yourselves, and then we'll get on to the topic. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay. Tell them where you just briefly tell them where you're from, and just give them a brief history about your impairment, and then we'll let the other guests do her thing. Go ahead.
All right. So my name is Derek. I am originally from Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County, representing. But I live now in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I was born with a rare genetic disease called Leber's amaurosis, which they discovered at 4 months of my life. They found out that I could not see. It took them about 4 months to find this out. So that's just a little bit about me.
Okay, so next guest.
Okay, I'm Tawanda. I'm from Mississippi. I'm currently living in Baton Rouge. I can see, but I'm dating someone who's blind.
Okay. Now, let's jump into the meat of the thing. Okay. Derek, are you currently married right now?
I am married since 1999. Yes.
Okay. And can your wife see as well, or is she totally blind?
Yes, she's full. She has full vision. Yes.
Okay. Give me your understanding or your synopsis of your preference in terms of what you prefer as far as dating. Would it be someone who's totally blind or visually impaired, or someone who has any type of impairment or not? And tell us why.
Okay, so with me, I would prefer to date a sighted woman. Having said all that, though, as I've gotten older, I realized a couple of things when dating a sighted person. There are certain levels of when you are dating a sighted person that they don't, they would not get if you were dating a blind person. There are certain things about blindness that sighted people just don't understand, no matter how much you try to talk to them about it. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But having said all that, I do prefer to date sighted women.
How do you feel about Tawanda? Is it? Am I correct? Hello?
Yes.
How do you feel about what he had just? How do you feel about what he had just said in terms of?
I totally agree. I agree. I don't understand certain things, and when he tries to explain, he always tell me I don't understand where he's coming from. That's basically it. I mean, I'm just gonna let him know. I date Anthony, everyone, and we've been dating for a while.
I already knew this, though.
I've been dating Anthony, and it's not even so much of Anthony being blind, because some of the stuff he does amazes me, but I don't let him get away with nothing. Like, sometimes he'll try to use not being able to see on certain things, and I don't go for it.
Okay. Well,
Like, when you say that, hold on, I want to call you on that. Like, when you say that, what would he be trying to use? I'm just curious, because you mentioned.
go ahead.
I know a lot of sighted women
Let me
say that.
interject. Y'all can go ahead and I like this because it's going. I want y'all to get it on out. So I'm just
No,
moderating.
you gotta get in this one too. No, you're in this one. You're in this one too.
Go ahead.
What do I accuse you of? A lot.
If my memory serves me correctly, is the fact of me not doing as much as I need to because of the fact that you've done a great deal for me in the relationship. Yes.
When I first met Anthony was more independent. I think he became more dependent on me now. I guess because we've been together so long.
Spoiled him, basically.
Yeah. And so now it's like, now we have a son and he's young and I can't cater to that anymore as much.
Now, Derek, let me interject. Derek, now, do you think that has anything to do with just a person being impaired, or does it have something to do with the fact that that person is more apt to open up and share, so that the other person could accept, and you know what I'm saying? Like, if you do so much, then you see that person is caring, so you're gonna kind of back down a little bit. What has it been for your situation?
Okay, so my situation, I'm just going to be full disclosure. When I met my wife, I had never even changed a trash bag before. I'm just going to be 100 with you.
Yeah, that's what I
I
want.
had never even put a trash bag on a trash can before. And so, but this was due to my mom, and this is a whole another subject, what this might stem from. When you have a parent that has never had a visually impaired child, and this is not with all parents, just mine, they tend to do a lot more sheltering. They tend to mine did a lot more worrying. And I had teachers, though. I was lucky enough to have some teachers that kind of were the buffer between her and I when it came to something like that. Like, they would offset the things she would try to not do. Like, not let me do. For example, she did not like the fact that I was crossing streets and doing bus work and things. That bothered her. But back to your point about things of that nature, what you were talking about, Anthony, I do believe sometimes as men, as blind men, we can get a little more dependent, especially when they're good women and they start doing stuff for us.
Right.
You get a little lazy, to be honest with you. You get a little lazy. You know what I'm saying? I know I do. I know, and this is the conversation. Y'all are having the exact same conversation that my wife and I have about this. She says the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, when I met you...
But see, with Anthony, not trying to cut you off. With Anthony used to cook. Anthony takes out the trash. He does a lot of things, but he used to do even more. And now it's like... not so much.
Well, that's what I've been accused of. We just had a big conversation about this not too long ago. That's what I've been accused of, but I disagree. And there are some circumstances in this house that are much too long to go into on this podcast, on this YouTube show. But there are circumstances in this house that make that situation a little bit more difficult. So it's not as cut and dry as my wife likes to believe it is. Like, now I do take out the trash. Now I do some of that stuff. Now, I never have been one to get in the kitchen and mess around. I'm not going to lie to you. I never have been confident enough to get in the kitchen and be like, nah, man, I'm going to go in here and I'm about to go ahead and lay it down, boy.
Right.
I'm about to go put it down up in here. That's not me. I leave that to her. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's the gourmet cook. But, yeah, we're having the exact same kind of discussion in this house.
Okay. Well, tell me this, and both of y'all can answer this. and you probably can answer for your wife because she probably, you know, and it's a good thing that she can see and Tawana can see as well. Has there? I'm gonna ask you first, Tawana. Has there ever been? And be honest, don't worry about the fact that you know you and I or whatever.
You know how I am.
Has there ever been a chance or time when you say, "Well, man, I mean, I'm dating this guy who can't see. This is kind of stressful." As years roll by, this kind of stressful. I don't know what I got myself into. I you know, this may have. I don't know if this was your first time dating somebody who can see, but this may be a little stressful, or you know, tell us if there has been that situation and you just had to suck it up and deal with it, or what obstacles did you go by in order to maintain and deal with it? You know in order to make the relationship work. Because I mean I know that if I was have never dated anyone who couldn't see or whatever, and you know, and it happened. You know, how was it? How is it for you?
It was easier in the beginning. Lately, it's becoming stressful because I have a lot on my plate. Like, it's more than just that issue. There's other things, too, that's adding to it, which makes it stressful lately. Only been lately.
So in what? Well, before I move on, Derek.
Because we've been together, 16 years?
Right.
And,
Dang.
yeah, and
Wow.
it's only been stressful like this, past 2 years or a year? I would say, probably a year.
So, Derek, has there been a time when your wife may have talked to you and not really point blank saying that it was things are stressful, but just kind of, you know, in a roundabout way saying that, well, you know, just giving you some type of hint to say, well, you know, this may be a little difficult, you know, and not want to leave, but just a little difficult. We got to work on, you know, issues to make it better. Has she ever come to you and said, you know, anything of that magnitude?
So in the 19 years we've been together, there's no beating around the bush. She has said that. She's been straight up 100 with that. Like, we've had situations where, like, she's like, dude, I need you to help. I'm gonna need your help. I need you to do this. This is becoming too much for me. Especially after we had our son, and that was a challenge in itself because I learned everything I knew on the fly. I didn't have any classes. I didn't have anybody sitting down with me like, here's
Welcome
how
to
you
the
do
party.
this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying?
That's when I started,
I had
too.
to learn on the fly. And it was fun. Believe it or not, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that challenge because I'm a competitive person. I like a challenge. And to me, you know, the fact that I'm this blind dude with a child, no kind of parenting classes, just me and my wife trying to do it and her giving me tips along the way and
That's real
developing
talk.
my own techniques.
Mm-hmm.
That was dope for me. I was like, man, that's dope. I love it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I took that.
And you know, this is very coincidental to have this happen. You all have never met Tawana has never met your wife, but to think that they both have the same what were they both thinking along the same path to say
A lot of things in common.
right.
I might need to talk to her.
and be straight about how they feel, because Tawana's all. That's what I love about her. She is direct. Now sometimes it kind of, you know, even though I'm older, some of the things she says is too direct to where, you know, kind of makes me like, man. But you know, it only makes me stronger. So that's good there. As you know, as you put, you know, what we're saying, that your wife was just straightforward and told you, you know, how she felt and whatnot, you know, and you can only build from that, you know. Anybody want to comment on that?
I can get you, man, and it actually hurt my feelings, kind of, sort of. Sometimes she's so blunt. You just like, dude, I can't believe you just said that.
Right.
He does that all the time. I can't believe you said that.
Right.
What?
Anthony say that all the time to me. I can't believe you just said that. Yeah, I said that. Like, if I say something.
But see, I don't say it. I think it.
He said.
She was like, and this was a Monday. We was watching the documentary, and this was like right after the documentary, we were chilling. She's like, man, you know what? You just seem to, but you've just gotten helpless since in the last few years. I'm like, what? Really? You don't do anything. You don't even this, that. I mean, she pointed out all this stuff, and I'm like, damn, man.
But Derek,
like that.
Let me piggyback off of that. She's told me that
I do that.
I
do that.
Recently, a couple of years ago, she told me, they said, Anthony, when I first met you, you blah blah blah. Now you know, and sometimes you really can't help it, and it's nothing to the fact that a person can't see. It's just a fact, like as I relate back to what I just said. It's just the fact that if you do, you know, if you're in a relationship that's 50-50, and that person is pulling their weight, quite naturally you're gonna be, you know, you're gonna feel like, well, okay, you know, she got it or whatever. Let me kind of like, you know, relax a little bit. But you know, I guess that doesn't work in all cases. You kind of have to go the whole nine regardless and whatnot. But yeah, she's told me I've slacked off, and I've admitted to myself and to her now that that has been the case though. But Tawanda, what do you, for individuals who are dating people who are impaired, and it may not be visual, it may be other impairments, what do you provide, or what kind of advice can you give them to sustain or to just make it happen, continue the relationship?
Be very direct. Don't sugarcoat. I mean, talk, and you have to have a lot of patience too.
Any other thing? Anything else that make
No,
dealing with?
you know what I'm doing. You know what time you caught me at.
What about you, Derek? As far as what any advice that your
you.
wife has given you, or from experience?
Before I give that, I want to go back on something that you spoke about when she said that. The thing that kind of upsets me when you guys say something like, well, you become helpless or blah, 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 blah. You don't ever ask why. Because a lot of times there's reasons why
Good point.
we are in that position, but you never ask why. The only thing I hear out of mine is, oh, you this. You don't know if I'm depressed. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what we're going through. And a lot of times, this is what I find with women in relationships with blind people. They don't ever ask why that person is doing that. And then when you tell them, they're like, I know.
I ask.
know.
No, I ask. And Anthony always tell me, you can't relate.
I do say that.
Understand. That's what you say.
Because sometimes y'all can't. So let me drop an example on you, real quick.
But okay, if y'all gonna say we can't understand it, why ask then? Because that's when I'm coming to the point to where I don't even ask anymore. Because you're telling me you're not gonna understand, so I don't ask anymore. And then now it's, oh, you don't care.
Well, see, here's the thing though. I try to give them an opportunity to understand. I don't automatically tell somebody they don't understand. I try to talk to them and then give them the opportunity to try. I don't take that opportunity from them. And maybe when we do that, we're taking away an opportunity as well as a learning opportunity for your spouse. Because believe it or not, we are married. We have been married 19 years. And she's still learning how to deal with me, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I believe that.
Some days, honestly, I get up and I'm straight. I'm a beast, man. I'm cranky. I'm nasty. I can trip. But back to what you were saying, Anthony, to answer your question, I think what Tawanda said is correct. You need to have an open line of communication. If you are of a faith, you also should really need to be in prayer together as much as you can, but try to get an understanding and be empathetic to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, if with us, when she's telling me something, I try not to get in my feelings and try to get it from her perspective where she's coming from. Like when she said, "Oh, you helpless." kind of try to understand, because when she first said it, I was hot. I was like, man, I can't even believe she said that crap. I'm thinking this in my head. But then I thought, like, okay, what am I doing to make her feel this way? But then again, why isn't she asking me what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like I said before.
That's some really good information. And sometimes certain words that you use could trigger certain responses as well. And believe me, if y'all would have met my fiance, believe me, she's very, I should say sometimes too straightforward. But, you know, you have to deal with it in certain cases and move on. And that's why we've been together for these many years. But in closing, I've liked the stuff that you all stated and whatnot, and this is some food for thought, and hopefully this could be some information that individuals can listen to and just hopefully gain some knowledge and apply it in their own relationship. So in closing, do you all have anything that you all want to say before I move forward?
I do. If you are married to somebody that's visually impaired or blind, I just say blind. You might not understand, you know, what they're going through necessarily, but try to ask them some questions. You know what I'm saying? Try to find out what's going on. Don't just, you know, if you're with somebody, don't just come at them in that accusatory kind of situation. Try to find out what they're going through. And to my blind people that are married to sighted people, give them an opportunity to try to understand. You know what I'm saying? Give them an opportunity to try to understand your plight. Don't just say, well, you wouldn't understand. You know what I'm saying? If you tell them and then they don't understand, cool. But if you take that opportunity away from them, you know, then I think that's where you run into problems. And keep the lines of communication open. That's what I would say.
Okay. Tawanda?
Let's close on that note. I like that.
Okay. Well, to all the fans and audience out there, please continue to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you can get the update on stories like this. Share, follow, like, and what have you. And I want to again thank my guests, Tawanda and Derek, for bringing me that information, because I didn't want y'all to hear my side, just tell y'all what it's like. I wanted to give some raw and uncut, unedited versions of this particular topic, and that's what I got. And I hope that you all enjoyed the show. So without further ado, thank you for supporting the Parker Daniels Show, and I'm out.
This is Derek Moreland, and I thank you for joining me on the show tonight. I hope you enjoyed everything you heard. If you like the show, please do us all a favor and subscribe, and always leave your comments below.